Paige Bueckers, from side hustles to the silver screen, how this female entrepreneur is rewriting the business athlete playbook. Welcome to the Money Vehicle Movement podcast, where we are trying to make financial literacy more current and possibly even a little cooler. I'm your host, Jedidiah Collins, former NFL player, certified financial planner, and your financial educator. Today, we dive into how UConn national champion and rising WNBA star Paige Bueckers is becoming a business athlete. There's a major change happening in women's sport and the NIL era. The firm Madison Reed is moving beyond typical NIL deals where we used to think just athlete make a social media post for brand X and we'll pay you some money. Instead, this company is now offering female athletes equity stake in their company. They're also going to provide mentorship and a career path to possibly more ownership, but this shift is the epitome of what it is to be a business athlete. Why is this so important? Well, because the old NIL model often stopped at athletes getting paid for the use of their NIL. Today, equity means the athlete shares in not just the income, but the upside. Not just a one-time deal, but ongoing business value. That is what equity and stock ownership means. You become a partner in the company. For female athletes today especially, this is a game changer. It addresses a long-standing gap in pay, representation, and even control of companies. It says you are not just a face, you are a part owner of this brand. Madison Reed partnered with Paige Bueckers to create Euconic Blonde, a signature hair color shade. As part of the partnership, Paige developed and launched the signature color. The color was based on her own hairstyle and connection to UConn, but going through the marketing and launching and ownership of this brand was something special. Connecting in with the theme of self-expression and self-confidence, this program aligns perfectly with Bueckers' brand. Further driving in the brand concept, a portion of her sales are going to go to a youth sports organization called Good Sport. Again, not just making money, but making an impact. This new format to ownership is welcomed as we have seen a massive gap in funding startup companies led by females. A report shows that women now start nearly half of all new businesses. For example, here in the United States, women-owned startups accounted for 49% of new businesses in recent years. But here's the catch. They are still 75% less likely to receive equity financing than their counterparts, males. You may have the idea, the execution, and even the hustle, but access to capital remains a massive bottleneck for female entrepreneurs. If you can create ownership through NIL deals, this is a great place to get familiar with being a business owner and start building your resume outside of just the court or field. You need to begin to ask, how can I turn my brand into an equity deal and not just an income paycheck today? How can I be a founder, partner, or investor and not just the deal signer? But Paige is not done. Paige Bueckers is going to go from athlete to producer. Up next, Paige is starring in the upcoming film Just in Pearl as well, stepping into an executive producer role. Not just jumping in as a character or an actress, but the producer as well, business athlete. Athletes have long extended beyond the field via endorsements, but today business athletes are starting to own their content, story, and media rights. The film project gives her brand longevity beyond her days on the court, which we know can only be a few years in your 20s. For entrepreneurs and financial-minded listeners, this is an example of diversifying your greatest asset, yourself. That is what is at your disposal. You have a brand, an image, and IP that you can start to leverage. Your greatest resource, not your greatest asset, your greatest resource is time, and there is no better time to start than today. Your core skills, in Paige's case, it's her game on the basketball court. That is the anchor of her brand. But the brand is then built around it and can branch into media, Hollywood, IP, equity, content, again, income streams far beyond the basketball game. For many young athletes, and frankly any professionals listening, you need to begin to ask yourself, how do you build equity positions now that you pay beyond your prime? For any young athletes, or really any professionals listening, start to ask yourself, how do I build income streams not for today, but for long into the future and beyond maybe my prime playing days? Think like an investor and keep pouring into your greatest asset, yourself. What roles, opportunities, and assets can you secure now that will generate return long term, even if in the short run it is not exactly what you desire? That means if you're not getting the paycheck you want today, but you are getting an opportunity and potentially developing some skills, it is still worth your time. Business athletes are made up of their brand, their equity in businesses, and diversification of their portfolio. The game of sports becomes business, the athlete becomes entrepreneur, and the income becomes an investment. The future belongs to those business athletes who don't just play the game, but begin to own the game. Jedidiah Collins, Money Vehicle Movement Podcast. We will see you at the next stop.